Have you ever noticed how certain people drain your energy without you understanding exactly why? That uneasy feeling that something isn't right, but you ignore it out of politeness or fear of seeming suspicious. The truth is, your intuition is rarely wrong, and learning to identify who truly deserves your trust can be the difference between a peaceful life and a constant cycle of disappointments. It's not about being pessimistic or closing your heart to the world, but rather about developing discernment to protect your inner peace and direct your energy towards genuine relationships. The ancient Stoics already knew this. We cannot control the people around us, but we can choose with whom we share our lives. The problem is that we often confuse politeness with naivete, giving too many chances to those who have already shown who they really are. Get ready to discover 9 profiles of people who, often driven by their own insecurity, can contaminate your journey with toxicity, falsehood, and manipulation. By the end of this text, you will have practical tools to recognize these patterns and cultivate relationships based on mutual respect and true trust. 1. Constant critics. Pay close attention to that person who always has something negative to say about others. They dissect other people's behavior with surgical precision, pointing out flaws that no one else noticed and transforming small slips into evidence of dubious character. This pattern reveals something fundamental. When someone constantly criticizes others in front of you, they are projecting their own insecurities onto the outside world. Constant criticism functions as a defense mechanism, a way to divert attention from their own flaws and create a temporary illusion of superiority. It's as if, by belittling others, this person is trying to artificially elevate themselves, building a fragile self-esteem on the ruins of someone else's reputation. What few realize is that this negativity is rarely limited to those who are absent. If so-and-so speaks ill of so-and-so to you today, you can be sure that tomorrow you will be the so-and-so in the conversation with someone else. This type of behavior reveals a profound lack of loyalty and respect for human relationships. The Stoics would teach us that a person's true character is revealed not in what they say about others, but in how they position themselves in the face of others' weaknesses. Those who possess true inner confidence don't need to belittle anyone to feel valued. A self-assured person recognizes that everyone is fighting their own battles, and that pointing fingers is much easier than offering a helping hand. Protect yourself from this type of company by setting clear boundaries when you notice the pattern. When someone starts criticizing others in your presence, subtly change the subject or show disinterest in the gossip. Over time, you will realize that constant critics naturally distance themselves from those who don't feed into that dynamic. Remember that you are building an inner fortress, as Marcus Aurelius suggested in his Meditations, and this fortress has no room for those who spread poison disguised as conversation. Cultivating relationships based on respect and genuine empathy sometimes means distancing yourself from those who choose to live in criticism instead of focusing on their own growth. 2. Friends from all over the world. There's a subtle but crucial difference between being sociable and being friends with everyone. The excessively popular person, the one who collects contacts like trophies, often hides a deep insecurity beneath a mask of universal friendliness. They need constant validation from multiple sources because they lack the inner confidence necessary to exist without external approval. Observe how these people subtly change their behavior depending on who is present, adjusting opinions and personality like a social chameleon. This pattern reveals something worrying. If they don't have a fixed essence, how can you trust that the version of them you know is real? The central problem with this behavior is that you will never truly be special to someone who treats everyone as special. It's like that restaurant that claims to have the best Italian, Chinese, Brazilian, and Japanese food. When someone promises to be everything to everyone, they are usually nothing to anyone. Falsehood permeates these relationships because they are built on the need to please, not on genuine connection. When someone new, more interesting, or more useful for their goals comes along, you will be replaced without ceremony. The Stoics warned us about the importance of valuing quality over quantity, and this applies perfectly to human relationships. To identify this pattern, pay attention to how the person acts when you're alone versus when other people are around. A drastic change in behavior is a classic red flag. Also, observe if they share your personal information with others without permission, using intimate details as social currency to gain attention. A true relationship is built on mutual trust and emotional exclusivity. It doesn't mean your friend can't have other friends, but rather that there's something unique and irreplaceable between you. If you feel like you're just another number on someone's social calendar, your intuition is probably correct. 3. Manipulators. Manipulators are masters of emotional manipulation, skilled at making you question your own perception of reality. They operate in the shadows, using subtle psychological techniques to achieve their goals without revealing their true intentions. Manipulation can begin with small tests. A seemingly harmless little lie here, a subtle distortion of facts there. Over time, these tactics evolve into more complex mind games, where you find yourself defending positions you never took or apologizing for things you didn't do. This toxicity slowly erodes your confidence in your own perceptions, creating a harmful emotional dependency. What makes manipulators particularly dangerous is their ability to mask selfishness as genuine concern. They say, "I'm doing this for your own good," while exclusively serving their own interests. They use your empathy against you, identifying vulnerabilities and exploiting them with surgical precision. A skilled manipulator knows exactly which buttons to push to make you feel guilty, insecure, or grateful, all depending on the outcome they seek at the moment. This systematic deception destroys not only the relationship between you but also your ability to trust others in the future, because you constantly question whether you are being deceived again. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus only on what is within our control, and this includes our response to manipulation attempts. Start by paying attention to patterns. The manipulator often uses techniques such as gaslighting, making you doubt your memories, victimization, always portraying themselves as a victim of circumstances, and triangulation, using third parties to validate their lies. When you identify these behaviors, set firm boundaries and don't negotiate your reality. Trust your perceptions and keep a record of important facts. Write down conversations. Save messages. Your emotional safety depends on you recognizing that no relationship is worth the price of your mental sanity. 4. People without empathy. The absence of empathy is like an emotional black hole that swallows everything around it without offering anything in return. These people navigate the world with a calculating coldness, incapable of genuinely processing the suffering of others or adjusting their behavior to minimize harm caused to others. It's not just occasional insensitivity. We all have bad days, but a consistent pattern of disregard for the needs and feelings of those around them. Observe how they react when you share something difficult. There's a void where there should be compassion, a mechanical response where there should be human connection. This lack of empathy usually stems from deep insecurity, an inability to look inward and acknowledge their own vulnerabilities, which prevents them from recognizing vulnerability in others. The selfishness of these people is not the result of poor upbringing, but of a fundamentally different emotional structure. They see relationships as transactions where only their gains matter, treating people as disposable tools in the pursuit of personal goals. When you cease to be useful or when your needs conflict with their desires, you will be abandoned without remorse. The toxicity of this type of relationship goes beyond occasional disrespect. It undermines your trust in humanity as a whole. You begin to wonder if it's normal for people to act this way, if perhaps you are too sensitive, when in reality you are simply dealing with someone who has chosen indifference as a way of life. Protecting yourself from unempathetic people requires developing your own emotional sensitivity without allowing it to be used against you. The Stoics believed that our duty is to be virtuous regardless of others' behavior, but this doesn't mean accepting mistreatment. When you identify this pattern, don't try to fix the person or expect them to change. Genuine change requires recognizing the problem, and those lacking empathy rarely acknowledge that something is wrong. Instead, establish emotional and physical distance. You can maintain necessary interactions, such as at work, without investing emotionally in the relationship. Remember, cultivating your own inner security means recognizing that some people simply lack the capacity for healthy relationships, and that's not your responsibility to fix. 5. Who pretends to listen? Nothing reveals more disrespect than someone who feigns attention while their mind is miles away. You share something important, perhaps a deep concern or genuine joy, and the person in front of you responds with, "Aha, I understand," or "That's true," while scrolling through their phone screen. This behavior isn't just casual rudeness. It's a clear sign that your presence, your words, and your feelings have no real value to that person. The falseness lies in the performance. They pretend to be present when they've already emotionally left. This type of insecurity manifests in an inability to be truly present, because focusing on you would mean letting go of the constant validation they seek in likes, messages, and notifications. The problem goes beyond momentary distraction. When someone consistently demonstrates that listening to you is less important than anything on the screen, they are saying loud and clear that you are not a priority. The lack of empathy in these moments slowly erodes trust in the relationship. You begin to question why you should open up, why you should share your vulnerabilities with someone who can't give you 5 minutes of their full attention. This type of toxicity is particularly insidious because it doesn't involve shouting or obvious aggression. It's just a continuous, silent demonstration that you don't matter that much. To deal with this situation, start by practicing the art of active listening yourself, not as a way to please others, but to strengthen your own ability to be present. The Stoics valued mindfulness of the present moment as the essence of wisdom. When you notice someone pretending to listen, stop talking and ask directly, "I noticed you're busy. Would you prefer we talk another time?" This clear approach removes the falseness from the situation and forces the person to consciously choose between being present or being honest about their unavailability. If the pattern persists, accept that this person lacks the capacity or interest to offer the kind of attention a genuine relationship requires, and direct your energy toward those who truly value your company and your words. 6. Eternally problematic. There are people who live in a perpetual hurricane of dramas and difficulties, always at the epicenter of some monumental crisis. Today it's a problem at work, tomorrow a fight with the family, then a catastrophic financial issue, and so on, without pause or resolution. What is striking about these eternally troubled individuals is not the existence of challenges in their lives. After all, we all face obstacles, but rather the pattern of repetition and the systematic refusal to change anything. They seem addicted to chaos, feeding off the attention and energy they receive by sharing their misfortunes. This dynamic reveals a profound insecurity. Their identity is so intertwined with the role of victim that real change would represent a loss of identity. The toxicity of this relationship manifests itself in how they constantly drain your emotional energy. You offer practical, tried and tested advice, suggestions that could genuinely help, but nothing is ever implemented. There's always an excuse, always a "but" that justifies inaction. The problem is that this negativity doesn't stay contained. It spreads like an oil slick, contaminating your own emotions and perspectives. You leave these conversations feeling exhausted, weighed down, as if you've carried a burden that isn't yours. The Stoics warned us about the importance of distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot, and other people's problems definitely fall into the latter category, especially when those people actively choose not to solve them. The selfishness of perpetually problematic individuals disguises itself as need, but at its core, it's pure disrespect for your time and energy. They don't want solutions. They want an audience. Every problem is a performance where you're called upon to play the role of a sympathetic spectator, offering the validation and attention that fuel this cycle. To protect your inner peace, establish clear boundaries. You can offer genuine support once or twice, but when you realize you're only feeding a destructive pattern, step back. Say something like, "We've talked about this several times. You know what I think. Now I need to focus on my own issues." It may seem harsh, but cultivating your own confidence and security requires protecting your emotional resources from those who consciously choose to remain in self-destructive situations. 7. Professional provocateurs. There is a peculiar type of person who finds genuine pleasure in unsettling others, pushing emotional buttons with the precision of a surgeon. These professional provocateurs have mastered the art of irritating without seeming guilty, always with the ready excuse that it was just a joke or you're too sensitive. They operate through subtle manipulation, planting seeds of doubt, creating confusion, and then watching the chaos unfold with barely disguised satisfaction. This need to provoke reveals a deep insecurity. Unable to feel powerful through their own achievements, they seek power by making others feel small. The falseness lies in the smile while they plunge verbal knives, in the claim of innocence while executing calculated strategies of emotional destabilization. What makes provocateurs particularly challenging is their ability to reverse situations, transforming themselves into victims when confronted. You react to the provocation and suddenly you're the one being aggressive or overreacting. This gaslighting technique keeps you trapped in a cycle where you constantly question your own reactions, losing confidence in your own judgment. The toxicity of this behavior lies not only in the moments of provocation, but in the overall atmosphere of discomfort they create. You are constantly on alert, walking on eggshells, trying to predict the next attack disguised as a casual comment. This perpetual state of tension drains your energy and corrodes your inner peace, exactly what the provocateur seeks. The Stoics would teach us that the best response to provocation is serene indifference, not because you are too weak to react, but because you are strong enough not to need to. When someone tries to provoke you, respond with disarming calm, interesting observation, or simply don't respond at all. Without the emotional reaction that fuels the provocateur, the game loses its appeal. If the pattern persists, establish clear verbal boundaries. I've noticed that you frequently make comments that seem designed to upset me. This doesn't contribute to our relationship. Your emotional security doesn't depend on winning psychological games, but on recognizing when someone is playing and choosing simply not to participate. Remember, those who need to provoke others to feel good about themselves carry their own internal battles, and you are not responsible for being their testing ground. 8. Toxic people. Toxicity in relationships functions like emotional radiation. You don't see it, but you feel the corrosive effects over time. Toxic people spread negativity as if it were their life's mission, contaminating every environment they frequent with destructive criticism, chronic pessimism, and heavy energy. They don't just see the glass half empty. They question why on earth you need a glass, claim that water is bad for you, and suggest you're an idiot for being thirsty. This compulsive need to destroy any spark of optimism or positivity around them reveals a deep insecurity. Because they feel miserable, they need everyone around them to feel that way too to validate their own distorted worldview. The real danger of toxic people lies not in the obvious attacks, but in the subtle emotional manipulation that gradually undermines your self-esteem. A seemingly innocent comment here, are you really going to use that? A criticism disguised as concern there? I'm only saying this because I care, but... And before you know it, you're questioning decisions you once made with complete confidence. They have a special talent for identifying your insecurities and poking at them repeatedly, always under the guise of helping or being realistic. Disrespect is so normalized in this dynamic that you begin to accept it as a natural part of the relationship, when in reality you are being systematically demolished. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should surround ourselves only with those who uplift us, and this wasn't mere idealism. It was practical wisdom for survival. To protect yourself from toxic people, start by monitoring how you feel after interactions with certain individuals. If you consistently feel drained, anxious, or insecure after being with someone, that's a clear sign of toxicity. Don't try to fix the toxic person or expect them to change. That's a common trap that only prolongs your suffering. Instead, establish physical and emotional distance. Reduce contact, be vague about your availability. Protect your vulnerabilities by not sharing personal information. Cultivating your own inner confidence and security means recognizing that some people are poison to your soul, and you have the right, indeed, the duty to yourself, to keep them away. 9. False friends. A false friend is perhaps the most painful form of betrayal because it comes disguised as loyalty. These people perfectly master the art of duplicity. They are effusively pleasant in your presence, offering warm smiles and words of support. But the moment you turn your back, they transform into your main critics. They spread rumors, distort your words, share confidences you shared in vulnerable moments, all while maintaining the mask of friendship when you meet again. This systematic falsehood reveals not only a lack of character, but an insecurity so deep that they need to belittle others behind their backs to feel relevant or interesting in social circles. The pattern of a fake friend is chameleon-like. Their behavior and opinions change depending on who's around. Today, they enthusiastically agree with you on a certain topic. Tomorrow, they're on the opposite side when talking to different people. This lack of authenticity isn't just irritating, it's deeply damaging because it destroys the trust that forms the basis of any genuine relationship. You never know which version of that person is real, if any, and you constantly wonder what's being said about you when you're not around. The toxicity of the situation corrodes not only that specific relationship, but your ability to trust in new relationships, creating a legacy of distrust that can take years to overcome. The Stoics taught us to value virtue above popularity, and this includes having the courage to distance ourselves from false people even when it means reducing your social circle. To identify false friends, pay attention to inconsistencies. Information you shared privately mysteriously becomes public, or you discover negative comments this person made about you through third parties. When you confirm the pattern, don't confront them seeking justifications. False friends are experts at creating elaborate excuses and making you feel guilty for questioning. Simply distance yourself gradually, reducing the intimacy and access this person has to your life. Your inner peace and emotional security depend on you prioritizing authenticity over convenience, cultivating relationships where respect and trust are non-negotiable. Remember, it's better to have a few true friends than many false acquaintances. Now reflect honestly. How many of these characteristics do you recognize in the people around you? How many times have you ignored these signs for fear of being alone or because you believed you were exaggerating? Trusting your intuition isn't paranoia, it's practical wisdom. Think about the last few weeks. With which people do you feel energized and supported? And with whom do you end conversations feeling exhausted and insecure? The Stoics believed that we are a reflection of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So ask yourself, are the people in your circle lifting you up or dragging you down? The transformation begins when you decide that your inner peace is non-negotiable. It's not about becoming cynical, but about developing discernment to protect your energy. Start today. Identify a relationship that consistently makes you feel bad and set a clear boundary. It may be uncomfortable at first, but every step toward authentic relationships is an investment in your emotional health and future happiness. If this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, I share practical tools for you to develop unwavering inner confidence and build a life aligned with your true values. Your journey towards healthier relationships starts now. See you in the next video.